Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. I'm Dr. Hoke F. Young, your ADHD consultant, and I help parents who are ready to partner with their children get to the root causes of their behavior of inattentiveness and hyperactivity so that they can flourish in life. And that's just not the children, parents and the children flourish together in life. And so today I'd like to talk about how to help your child improve executive functioning. So, what's executive functioning? Basically, it's just a term that stands for cognitive processing, meaning how we think, how we make decisions, learning, all of that is involved in executive functioning. And some symptoms of a lack of executive functioning, which is often seen in children with ADHD, would be things like inability to control their impulses. They are not self-aware of their behaviors or their thoughts or what they're doing. They are unable to regulate their behaviors and they tend to throw lots of tantrums. They are often have a difficult time with managing their time, meaning school projects may not get done on time, they may not even get started appropriately. They seem overwhelmed with simple tasks, both at home and at school. Is your teenager having trouble or difficulty gaining independence or making decisions for plans for the future? All of those things point to uh, deficiency or some difficulty with executive functioning. And so the frontal part of our brain right here is that's the part that controls learning and decision making and impulse control. And that's the area of the brain that's most often affected in children who have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And so that's why I'd like to share some tips to you help your child navigate this area of life because doing this is critical to their success in every area in learning, in school, at home, in social relationships, and the job, and everywhere, pretty much. So, first step, first tip I would say is set routines. Routines are so important for children, regardless, but especially children who are inattentive or have difficulty controlling their impulses or with hyperactivity because it helps them realize that there are transitions between tasks which often help them go from one to the next. If you just stop a child in the middle of their activity and say, okay, time for the next one, they often struggle with that. And then here comes the behavior of, I'm not going to do it, and no, and all of that. So the way to avoid that is to set up routines and give them a heads up before you transition them to the next activity. Okay, in 5 minutes, we're going to be stopping this and we're going to go to that. And that's something you can discuss with their teacher as well. That will help your child transition better. And second thing is setting limits for activities. I mentioned one of the symptoms was some difficulty with managing the time appropriately. So if you set limits, so for example, if they're going to be doing after school activity on the computer and you say, okay, we're going to do this for 10 minutes, like set a timer and let them set a timer for 10 minutes so that they learn that. Or if they think it's going to take 10 minutes, they can set the timer for 12 minutes to give themselves a little extra time and that time, building that time for transition so that they're learning what they're also doing at school. So then it becomes a habit for them, for your child. And so this definitely will help them set that habit of determining the time and just giving themselves time, setting up time blocks for them to manage their activities better. And the third tip I would give you is teaching your child to use a planner, which is actually tied in with tip number two, because and the great way to do it is you parents, do you have trouble also with keeping yourself on track? If so, how about you set it up as a challenge? You and your child get matching planners and you practice writing it down things and keeping each other accountable so that then it becomes a habit for both you and your child. And now you have something that you can talk about in common, right? So we're always on the lookout for ways to strengthen that bond between parent and child. And so that's the third tip, is teaching your child to use a planner and helping them be accountable. And the fourth thing I would say is giving them a break. So when you set the time for activities, often children can focus, depending on their age, focus for maybe 10 minutes or 20 minutes. And it's always a great idea to give them a break, because why? The brain needs the oxygen. Brain is the most oxygen hungry organ of our body. So if we are active and we give the brain the substance the what it needs, which is oxygen, then your brain will function better and the child will be able to go back to their task and continue, because now they would have also run off some of that energy, but also they supply their brain with what it needs the most to function well. And the other thing I would say is, the other tip I would give is um, looking at your child to see how they enjoy learning. There are different ways of learning: visual, with auditory, which is listening, um, with tactile, with touch. Like, depends on what your child learns loves, and if you find out what that is, supply them with lots of that. Your child loves hands-on things, get Legos, get blocks for them to build, to be creative, and so that just helps them not only learn, but it also boosts their self-confidence. And when their self-confidence is boosted, they tend to act better. See, everything is connected. So yes, that's it. That will definitely help your child. And a really, really important one is show compassion. Show compassion to your child. Children with ADHD often struggle with feeling like they're valuable, like they're seen, that they even matter. So if you, as a parent, show compassion to your child and help them know that, and be willing to work with them when they make mistakes, and not just proceed to yelling or the put downs or the why can't you even get this right, that never helps. It just makes things worse. So let's practice as parents showing compassion to ourselves first, so that in turn we can show compassion to our children. We fail, they fail. If we show compassion to ourselves when we fail, we are more likely to do the same thing with our children. So these are the tips I would like to leave with you to help um, improve your child's functioning. And with everything, it's a process. Patience is required in large amounts, but it's definitely doable. And if you need any help in this area, please seek out help. Talk to your primary care physician, reach out to me. I'll be glad to talk with you. I do have a resource I put together for children called Help. Does my child have ADHD? Questions your child wishes you would ask their doctor. So this is a free download. It can be found at theadhdreport.com. Again, that's theadhdreport.com, and I hope it's helpful to you. And so remember, there's no such thing as a perfect parent. We're all works in progress and here to help you along this journey. So have an amazing day, and remember to share a smile today.